Hello Flosstube! I'm back from my holiday, I'm back from the Christmas break. How you guys been? Welcome to my channel. My name is Michał and welcome to Star Parade, a channel where I talk about cross-stitching, crocheting, sometimes about books, sometimes about music, sometimes about painting. It's a mishmash of pretty much everything you can possibly imagine, but mostly this channel focuses on the craft that is cross-stitching. How you guys been? I know it's been over a month since you last saw me. First of all, I would like to wish you a happy new year. How you guys been? Tell me in the comments. I just missed you, and I guess you also missed me because, well, maybe that's the reason why you clicked on this video. So I have a lot of things that I would like to share with you guys today. Just to compensate on the time that we haven't seen each other and you haven't heard anything from me. So let's address the elephant in the room, which is my trip to Alabama. For people that do not know, for the Christmas I went to United States for the very first time, and I visited a very nice and very south state, Alabama, with my partner to visit his family and spend the Christmas at my partner's mom's house. And boy, was it a trip. I don't want to talk a lot about it because we have quite a bit that I want to get through, so I would probably sum it up in few words. Like, America and first impression was guns, and the fact that you can exchange gold for money and get guns in the same store, which basically promotes armed robbery, in my opinion. But other thing was Chick-fil-A. I do like Chick-fil-A. It was very delicious. My partner's favorite fast food restaurant. He worked there before, so it was quite interesting to dive into like fast food, differences and what you guys eat over there. I really like the spiced chicken sandwiches, and milkshakes were very delicious. Also, we've been to Arby's, we've been to Zigby's, I think, and when we visited Wendy's at one point, it was basically a food trip more than anything. But we spent a marvelous and wonderful Christmas. I have never seen a Christmas tree that had so many presents underneath. Back in Poland, we celebrate Christmas with what we had, and each Christmas when I was young, I got one filled grocery bag full of candy and few toys, and that's it. So it was a shocker to me to see a Christmas tree that can't even handle all of the presents, and they had to be lay down next to it. It was overwhelming for me. But speaking about the presents, my quote-unquote mother-in-law really liked the shawl that I made, mainly because she is also a crafter and she gives gifts that she made herself. So maybe that's why she appreciated a little bit more than I thought. She told me that it was beautiful, and she thanked me from the bottom of her heart. So I hope that this shawl won't end up in Goodwill anytime soon, because I spent 3 weeks making it. So hopefully it will be cherished. For the people that don't know what I'm talking about, I'll try to post a picture somewhere, probably here, of the shawl that I made and I gifted to her. Let's give it 5 minutes. Okay. That was the quickest 5 minutes in my life. So today we've got 24th of January, being Monday. So yeah, it really was over a month since I sat in front of my phone and recorded a Flosstube. So take a second to welcome me back. me, my humble servant of you guys, I'm back to present more of my crafts. So my trip to States weren't like entirely fruitless when it comes to cross stitching. I do have one huge regret that we didn't go to a proper needlework store. We went to a needlepoint store, which is a completely different craft and had nothing cross stitch related. It had a lot of thick DMC cotton yarn, threads, the ones spirally ones. I'm sure you saw it few times when you've been shopping for some DMC. They had specialization threads and stuff like that, all for the needlepoint, and they had printed off plastic canvas with various patterns on them. But it was needlepoint. It had nothing to do with the cross stitch. Later, when we get out of the store, my partner shared with me that he spoke with one of the ladies when I was shopping there. I got 2 things from the shop and that's it, because I didn't want to spend much money there. So he told me that he spoke with the lady and asked her if they have anything cross-stitch related, and the lady had the audacity to say that in her humble opinion, needlepoint is much better and more fun than cross-stitching. And he asked me what I think about it, and I told him, well, with all due respect, I think needlepoint is quite boring because you have printed on patterns on the plastic canvas and you cannot choose your own fabric, you cannot choose a lot of things that makes cross-stitching unique, so it's a little bit more boring. And he just busted off laughing, and he said, just because you said it's boring, you probably will upset half of the customers shopping in that store that day, which probably might be true. But I did end up getting something because they had some silk that was universal to cross-stitching, embroidery, and needlepoint. So I was able to at least get something, and I got myself some fancy new scissors. So I will share with you a little bit later. What else we did in the States? We've been to North Carolina and we've been to Biltmore Estate, which was mind-blowing. This mansion was enormous and I cannot even imagine living in that place. You can just get lost so easily. They had 2-story basement. They had very first refrigerator that was, not outdoors or underground, refrigerated. It was fully functional refrigerator, run with some sort of gas that kept the room cool. They had one of the first automated laundry. They had underground pool, which was amazing. And the library. Oh my gosh, the library was amazing and fantastic. I will try to share some pictures in the corner while I'm talking about it, so you can have at least grasp without needing to Google it, what was all about. And also, while we were there, we've been to the Blue Ridge train. We did the short 1-hour ride, and my mother-in-law paid for Biltmore Estate and also for the train ride, which I'm very grateful and thankful for it. But in my honest opinion, the Blue Ridge train ride wasn't worth it at all. You would think that it will take you up to the mountains and you had some beautiful views that you can look at while you are on the ride, but we just been going through the foresty area and we couldn't see pretty much anything. What's in front of us, just the forest and a few hobo camps, and it was such a letdown, and I didn't want to say anything, but in my honest opinion, it wasn't worth it, and I'm very sad that she paid about $50 per ticket to take her whole family, including me, to such a disappointment. I would be furious. Maybe not furious, I would be very disappointed it was her. So if it ever crossed your mind to go on a train ride, in order to see some nice views, it's not worth it. If you are a fan of the trains and you like riding on trains and this is your spiel and you like, you know, old, because the trips was on the older model of train. So if you are a train fanatic, maybe it's worth it. But if you are someone like me that uses the train mainly for comfort of traveling and also because you like to see some beautiful views, it wasn't worth it. Sorry, Blue Ridge, but it wasn't worth it. Although I just bought a few souvenirs from that because they had train sections dedicated, you know, for shopping and shopping souvenirs. So I just had to get something, right? Okay. Enough of the America. If you want to ask me more questions about it, you are free to do that in comments down below, or feel free to contact me on my Instagram, which I post a link also in the comments, and actually in description of this, video. So let's get into business to defeat the Huns. And let me put down my beautiful leather notebook, and let's get into cross-stitching stuff. So I will probably start, no, I will not probably start, I will do it. I will just start with the new starts, and there are 2 new starts because in America, in my in-laws' place, there wasn't a good light source. I didn't cross stitch there pretty much at all. I did spend 1 day on cross stitching and I thought this is not gonna work. I'm just straining my eyes for nothing, and I need to find another thing to occupy myself while I'm there. And we were watching Christmas Vacation, right? Which was first time I watched it for first time, Griswold's Christmas Vacation movie, and it was hilarious. I never seen this movie before, but it was hilarious. So I was occupying myself by making a scarf, and I started to make this scarf for my partner. And the stitch that I used on it is called Waffle Stitch. So because to either further amplify the fact that I was in America and we had waffles quite a bit over there. Is that your national breakfast dish? Waffles with maple syrup? I'm just asking. So I decided to use 3 separate colors. It is this rustic orange, gray, and blue. And as you can see, I made a significant amount of progress. Well, basically this scarf is almost done. I was working on it every time I had a chance to sit down and relax. And if you look at the pattern, it is absolutely fantastic. It really does look like a waffle. If you probably do a little snippet of it and cut out, you can probably use it as a fun washcloths that looks like a waffle. So as you can see, it's almost done. And because I didn't have enough blue, I had to improvise here and add speckles of blue to represent the color dripping down. So I can artificially extend its presence and have the gray extend a little further. Just because it is a thick scarf, so naturally it has to be longer than normal one. Unfortunately, I was dumb enough not to pick up more royal blue from Michael's, so I had to improvise a little bit. But yeah, so plans to make a matching hat for my partner just fell apart because I don't have this royal blue, and it is exclusive yarn to Michael, so I cannot really get it anywhere, and I cannot order it online even, so I'm stuck. He'll just get a scarf, I guess. Deal with it. Okay, and next start I would like to show you, it's something that I'm working along with my dear friend Chris from Chris Cross Stitch. Chris, can I call you friend? I mean, we talk on Instagram from time to time, right? Anyway, me and Chris starting on the 21st of January, there was a stitch along that dropped by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and the pattern is called How Does Your Garden Grow? And this is what you get if you order a kit, along with a fantastic needle minder with a little gnome on it, and beautifully arranged DMC flosses. What's nice about this kit that they give you the whole color key to it, so if you accidentally run out of floss, which I don't know how that happens, but I think it might happen, or you want to make another copy or stitch it again after you're done, you can easily do it just replacing the flosses with the DMC that you can get in store, so you don't have to rely on that at all, which is a fantastic, in my opinion, choice and a fantastic thought when you are selling a kit, because in my opinion, if you get something like that, you should be able to repurpose it. If you're stitching a kit, probably a lot of people will disagree with me, but I would like to have an option to stitch another. If I like the design that much, I would like to, for example, stitch it one more time, or give it out as a present to someone, because I can just purchase the DMC flosses, throw it in, throw some fabric, and gift it to someone and reuse it. But obviously they are mostly focused on sales, so they also, let's be fair, they also want to make some money. Maybe that's why they are not doing it. They are not providing the corresponding DMC numbers to the key, so it's harder for you to mix and match the colors. So I've started this on the 21st, after the first part of the sal dropped, and I completely finished it. That's one of the reasons that I was hesitated and a little bit postponing the filming of this video, because I wanted to finish this, and this is how the first part looks like. And it's absolutely gorgeous. Let me try to shine some light on it so you can see it better. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at it. It is so beautiful. And this is the gnome needle minder that was included in the kit, which is also very adorable. So get some mushrooms and some watering can, and a watering can and tomatoes growing out of it or behind it. I'm not really sure, but I like to think that it's growing out of it. And 3 pumpkins along next to it. So this is the complete first part of this stitch along. And let's be honest, I finished that relatively quickly because I just got hooked on it, and I wanted to stitch it as quickly as possible, just to focus on other projects as well. So that's why it was quite important to me to finish this as soon as possible, so I can move along to my other projects. And do not get me wrong, I also was focused on it so much because I really do like the design that Caterpillar Cross Stitch came up with. So it is a fantastic kit, and I think it's worth it because you are technically, I could be focused on it and probably finished all of it within a month, and because this is a stitch along and it's going until I think June, it just prolongs it and extends the fun that you get from it. So these are all of my new starts for now. At least I have planned quite a bit for this year, and I am trying to restrain myself, to be honest, not to buy any more charts and kits or fabric, but obviously I did buy some fabric. And the reason behind it I will tell you when we get to the haul. So let's start with our whips. So first whip I would like to show you, it's something that you haven't seen in a bit, but if you visit my Instagram, you've probably seen it once or twice. But of course I do not have I need to find, sorry, I just need to find the cover. I should have it somewhere. I'm pretty sure of it. It should be here. Please don't disappoint me. That's that. I'm very sorry for that. Obviously, I came prepared, but not entirely. I'm ashamed. A little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. Because, you know, everyone does that, let's be honest. I'm not the only one that is a total goofball here, right? Right? Please tell me that I'm not wrong. Na, 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 na. So how you've been? I don't think I have it here, which is upsetting. Well, anyways, I will post a picture while I'm looking for it, so you don't feel like I wasted your time. So I am working on the Betsy Stupid Tumor Saw. I put it out back to the stash for a bit because I was focusing on other things, but soon Betsy will have her very important MRI scan, and we will know more what's going on in her lovely brain. Hi, Betsy. So I decided to pick it up again. If you remember, I was working on the Modern Folk Embroidery Kindness and Fortitude piece, and that piece, let's backpedal a little bit. The kit for Caterpillar Cross Stitch, it's done on 32 count Zweigart even weave, just for the record. And this Modern Folk Embroidery piece, it is done on, I think, Belfast Ancient White linen, and I made a significant progress on it because I've, you know, replaced some of the colors with my own. The whole piece was supposed to be monocolor. I don't know how to say that. It's supposed to be stitched with one color in mind, but I expanded it, and I haven't ironed it because I want to wash it when it's done. And this is how much I did. So previously, if you remember, I did only just this part. So while being in America, I've managed to finish the border around it. And when I got home, I felt like I want to stitch more on it. So I finished those 4 motifs over here, and also the heart, which I changed. I'm sorry, Jacob, I changed the heart. I had the change of heart. So as you can see, it is absolutely amazing. So what I did, it is put Betsy's initials in the piece because it is Stupid Tumor Saw, and I've decided to add a lot of colors. And this motif, I've used some of the autumn colors and some winter colors over here and some spring colors over here and here, and it, my opinion, looks fantastic and amazing. And I really love how it looks on the this white linen. But because of the linen is so bright, I have a little bit problem with the variegated flosses. Some of the variegated flosses, or parts of it, are very light in color, so I had to snip them out in order to use them properly. That means that I'm using even more more DMC on this chart, so I had to probably go to the shop soon and restock on them. But it is an amazing chart, and we have Jacob to thank for it. And yeah, amazing design, Jacob. I thank you so much for it, and I hope the Betsy likes it as well. She thanked me for she already thanked me on Instagram for, you know, putting her initials, and she said I'm very sweet for doing that. So it's for you, Betsy. Hopefully everything will be fine and everything will be you know, okay, and the thing that is in your head will not be growing, and it's not growing, and it's not bigger than it was. Next next thing on the plate, it is the Legend of Zelda cross stitch pattern by Avocado Stitchery, and this is how the chart looks like. And me and Leonie, she is a Leonie Stitchy Madness on YouTube, and also Penguin Stitcher, a lovely lady, also join in on the SAL, but she is doing the whole chart, and me and Leonie are only doing the middle one over here. At least for now. This is my goal, and I finally, you know, undusted. Took out my little dusting broom and swooped the fabric, so I stitched a little bit on it. And the flosses that I'm using are the Weeks Dye Works, and I substituted all of them. The DMC flosses I substituted with the Weeks Dye Works threads, and also this chart is stitched on the 40 count linen. I am using 1/2, so I'm using 1 thread over 2 holes, and at the moment I've managed to stitch up the Link and Epona, which is his faithful and lovely horse that he pretty much gets in every single game, at least the 3D games. He gets the beautiful horse to traverse the world, and this is how it looks like. I hope you can see it. Sorry, the light is not the greatest. I'm trying to do whatever I can. Try to do my best just to show you, along with my beautiful needleminder, which is a bee, and he looks absolutely stunning. Look at this little Link being all brave on his horse. Obviously, horse looks derpy as crap because I'm missing some backstitching, and this eye it's not working with me at all. It looks like but I really do enjoy stitching on it, and this part has about 8,000 stitches, so it shouldn't take me very long to finish it this year. At least I'm planning to finish it this year. And for the record, I've checked, and how the chart from Caterpillar Cross Stitch that we've got this month, it is a little bit over 2,000 stitches, so it's very, you know, modest and tiny. It's not a big problem to stitch this, I think. Moving on, we've got the Great Wave of Kanto. So I had some back and forth with my friends about this, and this is how the chart looks like. Originally made by Lord Libiden, but it was remade by one of my friends from the image, and it was gifted to me. So I'm stitching that, and honestly I thought this is not very detailed chart, because I saw somewhere that someone charted their own version and it was fairly more detailed, but it was probably twice as big as this. So For a week or two, I was debating if I should drop it and restart it in more detail, but I also did over 2,000 stitches on it, so I didn't really want to. So I will be continuing with it. And since my last video, I've made a significant progress on it. And I'm stitching it on 32 count, oddly shaped, for the record, linen in a vintage country mocha. And as you can see, I've started working on the blue Gardas, and it is actually looking pretty well. But some of the details are stitched with the same color, and I will try to change that and introduce something different to the mix. So I am really curious how this one will turn, but from far it looks fantastic in my opinion. So, and this fabric complements the chart very well. So the thing that I did, I've made a huge mistake stitching this, because chart itself, I don't know if I can show you that, but the chart was charted a little bit differently. So the center of the pattern, it is actually shifted a little bit down, because for some reason this person made about 30 stitches of space from the top of the chart. So there's 30 stitches worth of space that contributes nothing to the chart. It's basically empty, and the whole chart starts 30 stitches, you know, and goes downwards. So I fear that I made a mistake by starting it in the center, and I might not have enough room to frame it, because you know, instead of here, the Gardas should be a little bit, you know, shifted a little bit upwards. But we shall see. I will continue that, and I will try to work myself down to the bottom line and see how much space realistically I've got. Because, you know, fabric, not every fabric is equal, and some of the fabrics are more compressed than the others. And even if you have 32 count, it realistically can be 30 count, or realistically can be 34 count. So sometimes, you know, fabrics are, you know, different in a way. Like Darcy had a problem recently in his videos, right? When he was doing the Fruits of Plenty saw. So hopefully it will fit, and I will have at least 5 centimeters of space to frame it. If not, I'll be probably laying in the corner crying, so stay tuned to that. So as you can see, I made a significant progress, and I probably will put that back to rotation quite soon, because I like the colors that I've chose. The thing about the chart that I've been given, it doesn't have DMC color numbers at all, but it had a vague description of the color, like light blue or something like, you know, light red and stuff like that. So I have to pick and choose my own colors, so it kind of will show what type of designer I am and what type of sense of colors I do have. So if that really turns out beautifully, it will give me a confidence boost to design even more charts than the Strawberry Fields. Next up, it is Roosters. Yes, the cultural appreciation cell is back, and I've started to stitch on the Roosters again. So I didn't do a lot, but I've managed to stitch this part of the design and fill a few of the spaces around. So as you can see, it looks like that at the moment, and it is chart by Korikamo. I'll show you the chart, because, well, I should show that in the beginning, but here we are. It looks like this. It is traditional Polish design, but made in bronze. and traditionally this chart should be way more colorful, because it, you know, it comes from the traditional paper cutouts from a region called Kashuby. And yeah, and I basically started that in bronze because I really like the colors and I like the modesty of it. And really, it's a big contrast when you think of it from my Jacob's chart, because this is very modest and not very colorful. So it is a good like breaking point, not breaking point. It provides a good break from very colorful Jacob's design that I'm making, basically. And by the way, the modern folk embroidery saw that I'm not saw the modern folk embroidery chart that I'm stitching for Betsy. I called it Jacob's heart attack, because Jacob really is not a big fan of discotheque kind of variegated floss. He really likes the subtle and very delicate changes in floss variegation. And I don't think he ever thought about, incorporating so many colors in his chart. So I called it Jacob's heart attack. Hi, Jacob. Did you have one yet after seeing my chart? I hope not, because we need you to design more charts, We need you to design more charts, so you cannot have heart attack. Excuse my singing. You know we love you, Jacob, right? We cannot lose you over a few colors, right? So please don't die. Yeah, I have problems just putting it back into my bag. So you can see some of the charts are still, some of my projects are still in the Q snaps, because I'll be stitching on them, except how does your garden grows, because I finished this month's part, so I'll take it out and put something else into Q snap. But I'm finally using my second Q snap, so you should be proud. I'm using my resources. Okay, and I think that's it for my cross-stitching stuff and my whips and new starts. I do not have any new starts per se, or not new starts. I don't have any finishes, sorry, excuse me. But yeah, I'll try to push on with my cross-stitching, and I will try to, for the love of me, I will try to restrain myself from starting new things for upcoming month at least. Not until I finish something. After I finish one of the charts that I'm working on, then I'll try to allow myself to start a new thing, which I have actually something in mind, but I will not reveal that anytime soon. Also, there's also, I put another condition on myself. If I finish my next chart, I will probably start that as well as soon as I can. After I finish designing my new chart, which, well, spoiler alert, I am designing a new chart, so I'm excited, and it'll be a monogamous chart. So that leads us into the haul. So while being in the States, we visit a Magic City needlepoint shop, and there I purchased two things. First were this amazing bamboo kind of like handle scissors, tiny scissors, and they are absolutely fantastic. I had to get used to them, to be fair. I had to get used to them because the handles are so big, and scissors itself are very small, but it is kind of weird to hold them because the holes are so big. I just got used to it, to my tiny scissors, but these are, slightly bigger, and I love this handle. Look at it. it looks like a bamboo. And originally when I bought them, I thought, hey, aren't they like bonsai, you know, scissors to snip off and prune the bonsai trees? And honestly, they probably are, but they're still cool and they are quite heavy. And also, while I was there, I decided to get some silk, and I didn't know what to get. Obviously, I could buy like 5 different colors and, you know, get at least white and black, because this is something that I will, you know, basically use on something. And white and black are so, you know, vastly present in cross-stitching world that we honestly we should stock on them whenever we can, really, isn't it? But I decided to go with a Splendor 12-ply silk, which is strandable, and it is for needlepoint, cross-stitch, and embroidery. And obviously, as I mentioned, the store was completely focused on needlepoint. Excuse me. So basically, this was the only thing that I could find that could apply also to cross-stitching. So it is made in France, it's 100% silk, 12 ply, and it has 8 yard, and it's hand washable. And it is in this beautiful, super dark teal. And look at this shine. Isn't this amazing? So I bought 7 of those skeins. And based on this color, I am designing my next chart. So it'll be a monocolor chart using this teal, and it will have a nautical theme to it. So it'll be underwater, and I decided to use this on my own chart because it'll make it so much more personal. So because I picked up only 7 of them, the chart will be fairly small. It won't be a very big chart, so I'm aiming the whole chart shouldn't exceed about 10,000 stitches. So it's not a big chart by any means, but because it'll be mostly focused on motifs, it'll be spread out quite a bit, so it won't be the smallest one either. I'm aiming for around 200 by 200. This will be a rectangular chart, so I'm aiming about 200 stitches by 200, but I'll try to place them neatly and as nicely as I can. So although it won't have a lot of stitches in it, it will look as it is very vastly occupied, but we shall see how that will work. I never design anything, you know, in one color only, just using basically 2 colors, because it is using the color of the fabric and color of the thread. So wish me luck. I will probably ask Jacob for opinions and recommendations what to do, but I'll try to do as much on my own as I can. I already finished 1 or 2 motifs that will go into that, and from one of them I'm very proud, and it looks so beautiful, and I cannot wait to stitch it when it's done. So because one of the motifs turned out so beautifully and so great, I set the bar very high. So I will design a lot of motifs for this and pick and choose the ones that will fit the theme and fit the style that I've chose for it. So stay tuned to that. I will try to, you know, share that with you as soon as possible. Next thing that I bought were the Encore spool skeins that they recently introduced. I obviously choose the black and white because, you know, we always need those colors, and it's really hard to mess up these colors. So I tried to play safe and picked up those. So this is equivalent of 5200. And this is the equivalent of 310. So I will try to use them as soon as I have a chance to, you know, review them and you know, say what do I think of it, review them basically. Yeah, but we shall see. Maybe they're amazing and they're already bobinating for you, so this is a big plus for me. But we shall see how that will work. I will try to use them as soon as possible and tell you what I think about them. So next thing that I bought, it was a Dmc Needle Threader, and I never had that. And now I'm happy that I have it, especially for this stupid glow-in-the-dark threads or specialization threads, or what else? The metallic threads. This will be a huge asset to be able to put the thread on the needle, because I had so much problem to thread glow in the dark floss on my needle that I had to actually thread a normal DMC thread through the needle, make a loop, put the glow in the dark one, and just pull it through. So basically make my own this metallic little needle threader out of the thread basically. So thanks to this, I hope the nightmare will be over, and whenever I have to use those threads again, this will be my big asset and big help. And just to be clear, I'm still licking my thread to put it on. The old habits will not die so easily, I guess. Next thing that I've got, it actually a Christmas gift from my partner, and it is this beautiful mint color case that contains a lot of crochet hooks and crochet accessories, and I love it. It was so thoughtful because he knows that I like crocheting and cross stitching, so instead of giving me some kind of kit that I will probably not appreciate because I'm a loser, he gifted me something that I will actually use and be able to utilize in my everyday life, because I only had few crochet hooks. I didn't have whole set, and it wasn't the most expensive one on the market, but it does the job, and I really do appreciate it and love it. It was a very thoughtful gift, and I thank you for that. And also, while in the States, because I didn't took anything with me, anything crochet related, I decided to get a Clover Hook, which is very smooth and fantastic when crocheting. And I really fell in love in Clover. That's why I picked up more Clover related stuff. One of them, it is this hoop. It is 7-inch hoop. It has 18 centimeters, and it's made in Japan, so it has this wheel turning thingy which prevents you from basically catching your thread on the normal screw that hoops usually have, and it holds the fabric fantastic. I've used that on my Zelda pattern, and it holds the tension really well, and you can tighten it very you can set a very good tension and tighten the screw quite a bit. So it is an amazing hoop, but the drawback of it, it is expensive. I think I paid about $10 in the States for it. So yeah, it is quite expensive, but I think it will hold on, and it'll be sturdy and durable and will not lose its shape over time. It is plastic, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but here we go. Next thing I bought while in the States, because I couldn't go to a normal needlework shop, that proper one. I had to go to Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I've been to all three of them, and I haven't bought anything in Hobby Lobby because they're not so devoted to protecting, and they're not so, how should I put it, they're not LGBT friendly. So I bought some things in Michael's as well, but it was mainly yarn used in my shawl. but Michael's, when I went there, it was a desolated land of cross stitching. There was nothing there, not even, there was maybe like 2 or 3 kits on the shelf, and that's pretty much it. Nothing cross stitch related at all. So I've managed to go to Joann's, and because it was one of the few last days, I ended up buying few kits. And they all come from Dimensions, which is a fantastic company if you don't know. Dimension kits are a very high quality ones, but they are also, you know, cost quite a bit of money. So first one that I picked up is from Gold Collections and Petites, so it is quite small. It is called Stacked Teacups, and this is how it looks. A fantastic little kits, and I was surprised when I read it. It comes with 18 count 8 white Ada, so it is very fine Ada, and not usually when you get kits like that, you just get standard 14 count Ada, which I don't like. Not that there's something wrong if you are stitching on 14 count Ada, but personally I think that 14 count Ada, it's not the way to go. Because if you are, you know, cross stitching on 14 count Ada with only 2 strands, it leaves too much white space in between crosses, in my honest opinion. Especially if you have white Ada, which is usually the case, and you are using either 310 or other dark colors. It basically, you can see the white of the fabric between crosses, and I'm not a really big fan of it. So if you are planning on starting cross stitching, or you are pro 14 count Ada, I think it's not the worst way to start, but I would humbly encourage you to go up to at least 16 count Ada. It is barely any difference in the size, but it makes such a huge difference when you are making crosses, and the coverage is much better. In my opinion, all of those kit makers should just basically upscale it and do better by providing 60 count Ada and up. In my opinion, 14 count Ada is a crime. It shouldn't exist. But I will not bash you if you like 14 count Ada. You are still my friend. I will not say anything, but this is my honest opinion, and I think I'm entitled to have my own opinion about it. Speaking of 14 count Ada, comes my next kit that I'm about to show you. It is the Indian Peacock. The kit that is present in pretty much every single store I encountered. But I never pulled the trigger and bought one, actually. So I did this time, and this asshole comes with 14 count Ada. Colored, by the way, I think it's ivory or parchment. And I'm quite disappointed that it comes in 14 count Ada. That means if I ever start it, I will have to substitute that. I will substitute that for sure if it is not. Well, I will substitute that regardless. If it's full coverage or not, I will substitute 14 count Ada. If it's full coverage, I will substitute that with a 16 count just to save up some money. If it's not full coverage and the fabric will be showing up, I will substitute that with 32 count. I bought some extra fabrics, so I will try to mix and match with what I've got. But I really do like this design of this Indian Peacock. It is a fantastic color palette in my opinion, and it should be you know, a nice thing to sit and stitch on. If I decide not to do it, I will probably gift it to someone or organize a giveaway. I'm not sure. Next thing that I bought is also a Dimensions kit, and it's Feasting Frenzy. And this thankfully is on an 18 count Ada. and this is how it looks. It is also a very popular design, and as you probably saw, most of the designs that I picked up are kind of bird related. It basically, there's a bird on all of them and one shape or form. So it has a vast variety of birds, and I really do like this design even more than the Peacock one because it comes with the better Ada. You can argue with me about that later in the comments. How dare you bash on the 14 count Ada? You don't deserve you don't deserve this Peacock. I deserve it. And the last thing that I picked up is this Cross-Stitch Disney Villains, and it comes with 12 wicked patterns. And what they also include, it's 8 skeins of embroidery floss and 2 pieces of cross-stitch fabric, which is probably also 14 count. So I am glad that it comes with 18 different patterns, and I love this apple for Snow White. I think the floss that it comes in lets you stitch the Ursula and the Cruella pattern, but obviously I've checked it and it has the DMC equivalent of those threads, so you can basically stitch anyone that you want, and yeah, it is a fantastic kit. And this probably will be a target of my next giveaway, which I will try to organize next time we see each other, because there's a lot of things I'm talking about today and I don't want to be bothered with extra stuff now. I just came back, give me a break. What else? Cross-stitch related, Michael, cross-stitch related. So I bought some yarn at Michael's, as I said, and I'll probably make a blanket out of it. So I bought quite a bit, a few skeins of this yarn, which is 100% acrylic. It's nothing special. It is Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo stripes yarn, and it is, I think that's 100% acrylic because it doesn't feel fancy or anything like that. Yes, 100% acrylic. It's not too soft, so it's not the best quality. But I also bought this camo color, camouflage, and because most of my partner's family are hunters, so I thought about making kind of a throw or a blanket or lap blanket for them from this yarn, and I bought about 5 skeins of this, so that should be more than enough to make something out of it, right? But also, as I said, it is not the softest yarn there is, so I have to think about it. It may be a throw to throw it on the bed, but they should appreciate that, right? Because it's right up their alley. And I also made a purchase in a store that I usually buy my stuff from. It's from the Needlecraft, Lakeside Needlecraft. I bought a lot of DMC threads, which will be a focal point of my next start if I gonna start it. But I'm trying to restrain myself. I already have the floss, most of the floss to at least start it, and I bought the fabric for it. It's supposed to be a 32 count, but I messed up and bought 28 count. So I bought a lot of it. I bought 1 square meter worth of fabric. It is an absolutely massive fabric, as you can see. It just ready for it. Wham! Can you see that? It is a massive fabric that I bought, and that was supposed to be my New Year's start. But first of all, I decided to do that a little bit too late for my own good. And I messed up with the fabric size. I was supposed to buy 32 count to stitch over 2, but I ended up with 28 count. And I might change my plans and do the whole pattern with 1/1, but first I need to do a few test stitches to see if that will work. Otherwise, I don't know what to do with it. If that will not work, I will probably not use it, because that means I will have to treat it as 14 count Ada and stitch with 3 strands over 2, which is a waste of DMC in my opinion, because I'm doing that with the Cory Camo Roosters already, and there's a lot of thread that goes in that. Just because I'm adding 1 extra instead of, you know, stitching like a normal person with 2, I'm adding an extra strand to make it more thicker, and so it looks fuller and there's no fabric visible between the stitches. This fabric is called Smudge. It is the company that makes them. It looks basically as it is hand dyed, but it is actually a printed on fabric, so the back of it is completely white, and because of that it is totally washable. And I think this fabric is made by the Flare Works fabric. I will try to link the store in it, but I bought it from Lakeside Needlecraft. So the another one, it is called Green Creation, from the same company, and it's very beautiful, and it has some stars sprinkled around it. I'm not the biggest fan of the stars, to be honest, but I like this green shade, and it kind of looks like a galaxy. Maybe that's why they decided that they want to sprinkle some stars in, but not a huge fan of it. And the Sea Spray. This is the fabric in this beautiful light green and light blue color that I will use my silks on. And this will be the base for my nautical chart to use with those silks. So I hope that this will look fantastic when it's done, but obviously most of it will depend also on the chart that I will be designing. So if I will not mess that up, it will look absolutely magical, in my opinion, in my honest, humble opinion. So that's that. Is there anything else I want to talk about cross-stitch related? There is one more thing cross-stitch related that I want to talk about, pretty much. So while being in America and having a fantastic holiday, I've been given one of the gifts that was under the Christmas tree had my name on it, and I've been given this embroidery bag from my mother-in-law. Why I'm making the quotation marks? Because I'm not technically married with my partner, so she is technically not my mother-in-law yet, but I've been given this fantastic bag, which on the label it says it's embroidery bag. Currently it has my yarn in it, but it has a lot of pockets to put your charts, to put your notions in it. It has, look at it. It has a lot of, you know, different pockets and space to put your cross-stitching stuff in it. So I was using it to store my project that I was working in the States, which was the scarf, but I will try to incorporate that into the cross-stitching very soon. And it is a nice little bag that I can take anywhere I like, and the colors are very suitable for me, because most of the things that you can buy that look like that, they're very either pink or light blue. Basically they scream women, because, you know, cross-stitching and embroidery is mostly, you know, done by women, and that's understandable. So a lot of things that they make apply and is there to attract women. So I was really happy that she gave me that in this modest gray color, and I really do like it, and thank you. If you ever Julie, if you ever stumble on this video, thank you so much for the bag. I really appreciate it, and don't feel bad about the train ride. It's not your fault, obviously. Just disclaimer, you know. Oh no, I gave up the name of my mother-in-law. Ah! She will kill me. I hope not. She loves me. Okay, cross-stitching aside, I also got myself some stuff when I was in the US, and it is the Wild Band vinyls. So first one is Lace and Layers, and the other one is Going Back. And these is one of my favorite bands. So this is the only two albums they released, and I managed to get both of them delivered to address of my mother-in-law, and I was able to take them home, and they arrived safely, unbroken. And I already listened to them a few times, and I really do love them. And fortunately, they don't have any CDs at all. So I was stuck with the vinyls, and I do have a vinyl player, and to be fair, this is my preferred choice of listening to albums, but I like to have a CD option to put in a car if we are driving somewhere. But nowadays, you know, Spotify makes things much easier, so usually there's a Spotify playing in the background. So you know what, let's shift things a little bit. This is actually for grabs. I've changed my mind. This is for grabs now, and all you have to do is to be you know, subscribe to my channel and put the name Villains, this exact name, into the comment down below. Let's do a little switcheroo and see who will just stay until the end of this very long video to to be able to win this. And obviously you have to be over 18, because I will have to ask you for the address, and I will try to find who won during my next before my next video, and I will try to contact you. I'll leave you know, hints how to contact me in the next video. But Villains, this is for grabs now, and I will send it everywhere in the world except North Korea, because it's kind of hard. But otherwise, this is for grabs, and yeah, it's good to be back. Take care, guys. It was lovely to see you again, and have a lovely week, have a lovely evening, have a lovely night. Remember, wear condoms, okay? Stay safe, take care, bye.